Today's openings begin with Bruin Brown Ale from Section 6 Brewing Company in Brandon, Manitoba. Nice simple tasting notes, dark chocolate, coffee, and toast flavors. And now with the preliminaries out of the way, we get into the main part of the show. What did I order several months ago and I've forgotten about? This is shoe glue. The obvious reason why I would have ordered this is because I've run out of shoe glue after repairing my shoes a few different times, my work boots and whatnot, so figured I'd see if I could find an alternative because there only seems to be really one product on the market here, and that is, shoe glue brand. So I figured I'd try something different. It is some sort of a polyurethane resin, cures in 24 hours, which is about right. Validity 24 months. I assume that means the tube expires in 24 months, and it seems to have been manufactured in May of 2026, so I've got a couple of years from there to use it up. That should be fine. Yep, that does seem to be very, very similar in composition to the shoe glue that I was using, so I'm going to assume that it'll do the job. Shoe repair glue, strong adhesive, universal waterproof shoe glue, sneakers, leather shoes, boots, canvas shoes, etc., etc. This one tube cost me $4.35. If I order again, I will probably order a multi-pack because it is much cheaper that way. Claims to be waterproof and washable. Seems to be clear and non-yellowing. Low odor, high strength. Low odor, I would disagree with that after having given it a quick sniff test. And if it is the same as the shoe glue brand that sells for multiple times that much, then nah, it's not low odor, but it goes away fairly quickly. No, that wasn't especially electronic-y, but sometimes some things aren't. You just never know. Let's see what this next one is. It is a couple of 915 megahertz antennas. It means that these are intended for the Meshtastic radios. Hopefully they are a little bit higher gain than the antennas that came with them. They're longer, so theoretically they should be. I don't know, we'll have to find out. And they come with little jumpers, SMA to whatever these little guys are called, IPX, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure it'll say in the listing, though. Oh, and these are the reverse polarity SMAs. And so were the antennas. That's good. I thought those reverse polarity ones were mostly used for Wi-Fi, but these claim to be 868 to 915 meg, and they've got a 5 dB gain, apparently, so we'll have to run these across the Nano VNA just to see what frequency they're really tuned for, and then give them a shot on the Meshtastic radios to see what kind of range I can get out of them. With 5 dB of gain, that should significantly increase the range over what the factory antennas are. 868 or 915 meg rubber antenna, gain 5 dB, RPSMA. Okay, I should have not been surprised by that. And 20 centimeter extension cable SMA to PX1. For GSM, yeah, I guess there is some GSM 900 meg band, or more likely Meshtastic or LoRaWAN, which is what I'm going to be using them for, is Meshtastic in 915 meg. Two of them currently selling for $8.22. Basic specs, frequency at 68 to 915 meg, vertically polarized, 5 dBi gain, a VSWR of less than 1.5, I should hope so, 50 ohms, sure. ABS is the radome, aka the router rubbery outer coating, connectors copper, sure. Not too much information down there. We'll have to play with them and just see if they live up to their billing. And hopefully they do the job for me on those Meshtastic radios, as I said. Well, this is going quickly. Let's grab a larger package, which feels like a multi-pack. So depending on how many are in here, this might be the last thing, or I might grab another one off the pile. 1, 2, 3 things in there. Shall we get rid of the smallest thing first? It is a little pin badge with a true declaration on it. I'm guessing that I just tossed that in there to make up the dollar difference so that I can get free shipping on the rest of it. If nothing else, I can add it back here someplace, but if I go to a Maker Faire or something like that, it will probably adorn my jacket. I am older than the internet. Enamel brooch pin, humorous badge accessories, currently going for $2.50. It was $1.75 when I bought it many months ago. And as I said, I just tossed this in to make up the minimum purchase price to get free shipping. That was fun, but let's get into the next thing, which hopefully is a bit more interesting, a bit more electronics and technical. It is an Anying socket detector. I hope I ordered the one for North America. I hope they sent me the one for North America. Yes, they did. Okay, cool. So this is just another outlet tester. I ordered this before I was offered the review sample that I looked at a month or so ago, and it took this long to get here. But basically, you just plug this into an outlet, and it shows you if things are wired correctly. You are not seeing it on camera, but I have the Protective Earth in the live lit, which is correct for correct wiring. I know on the camera, oh, there we go. Weird, the PWM or whatever is going on seems to be reversing between those two occasionally. But I can assure you that those two LEDs indicating correct are currently lit. And it also has a leakage test button, which I'm going to assume is a GFI test. And just to test it, just to demonstrate, I've got this ugly little bit of wiring here. I've got my hot and neutral reverse. Do not do this. I'm just doing this for demonstration. I'm going to plug this into my power bar, and we'll see what it looks like when it's detecting things are wrong. And yeah, there we go. We have the two lights indicating that there is a line and neutral reverse, or live and neutral reversal, as you would expect. Might as well just check and see if that is in fact a GFI test button. Yes, it is. Perfect. So now I have two devices that can test GFIs. I wonder if I can get into this thing to see what makes it tick. Oh, I think I can feel some screw holes hiding underneath the plastic label there. That sounds like a future video to me. What do you think? Comment down below if you want to see me tear that thing apart. Anying AC27 or AC28, I got the AC28. Digital socket power tester, 50 or 60 hertz, socket polarity detector, voltage tester, circuit breaker finder. Not really circuit breaker finder, although I guess if you had a GFI breaker, it would find that. There are both the EU version and the North American version. I obviously got the North American version in black, and it cost me about $1 less than that when I bought it many months ago, but currently it's going for $9.58. Oh, it claims to have some sort of smart chip fast detection inside it. Measures quickly in 1 second. Not entirely sure what the difference between the 27 and the 28 is. They both seem to... Oh, there it is. The 28 has an LCD screen. It's an LED, not LCD. But anyway, for voltage measurement, and the 27 doesn't. That's why I bought the slightly more expensive one. Although, as I said, it wasn't all that expensive anyway. And the last thing comes in a little cardboard box. I'm not even going to bother reading the description on the outside. Let's just go right into it. It's an automotive OBD2 tester. Okay. So these, if you haven't encountered them before, plug into a test port, a very standardized test port in your car. Typically, it is under the dash, near the fuse panel. In North American cars, it's usually somewhere above your left shin. I'm not sure where it is in British cars that have the steering wheel on t'other side. It's not a very satisfying peel. Anyway, yeah, this is just a standard code reader. It should be able to show all your engine conditions, show why your check engine light is on, and show a bunch of other stuff that the engine computer is capable of, and some versions of it, and I'm hoping this is one of them, can clear some of those extraneous codes, can also make certain types of modifications in your engine computer. I don't know if this is one of the ones that can do that. The instructions don't say very much other than how to move around in the menu and a whole bunch of safety instructions. So we'll have to do some figuring out. Maybe there's more information on the sale web page. 2025 new model supports 8 languages. Professional OBD2 card diagnostic tool direct from the manufacturer. V510 professional code reader and scan tool clears fault codes. Real-time data stream, enhanced engine fault code reading, reset tool, powerful modern design, durable structure, no battery required. Of course, no battery required because it's connected directly to the car. So these things can read pretty much any parameter that the engine computer makes available, including things like what the codes are that have caused your check engine light, checks a lot of historical information, diagnostics on engine misfires and stuff like that. You can graph real-time stuff, like a lot of different parameters, voltages and pressures and temperatures and whatnot from the engine, RPM, all that, while the car is in motion. Obviously, you'd want your passenger reading the thing while you're doing that. You can test the O2 sensor and probably a few other things. Now, I have an older, smaller version, which was just a Bluetooth dongle, and the Bluetooth software that I found was pretty dated. Hoping that this one is a little bit more intuitive and more informative, and can look up, it claims to have diagnostic test code definitions built into it, over 40,000 of them. Woohoo! Luckily, at the moment, my car is being very good, but you never know. And for, less than $20, it's a useful tool to have in your toolbox if you're the least bit inclined to diagnose your own stuff, which, if you're watching my videos, I'm going to assume that you are somewhat inclined in trying to repair your own stuff. Well, that's an interesting variety of stuff. I'm hoping that it's all very useful. Well, this may not be useful, but it's definitely going to be fun. The shoe glue will definitely be useful, assuming it's not, counterfeit and horrible. These antennas for the Meshtastic radios should hopefully increase my range and increase the number of other units around the city that I can talk to, because from the part of the city where I am, I don't see very many others. I'll see one, ping occasionally, but I have never still got a response to a general broadcast message from my house. I have from downtown, but not from when I'm in this area. Anyway, other useful things. This Anying branded outlet tester. The fact that it's got a voltmeter on it is handy compared to some of the less expensive ones that don't tend to. And it's got a GFI tester in it, and then just the basic test lights as well to tell you whether your outlets are wired correctly or not. Handy thing to have. I've had other versions of that in the past, and I do have another one that you saw me get about a month or so ago as a review item, but it's a useful thing to have in the toolbox. And then finally there's the OBD tester. I'm hoping that this thing pays for itself, its entire $10, in reduced mechanics bills over the years, assuming it works at all. I may open it up and take a look inside it. I'll definitely connect it up to my car and just see if my car has anything to complain about. I doubt that it will, but we'll see what it will tell us anyway about what's going on in my car. Yeah, that's another fun assortment, as is often the case. Questions and comments down below as usual. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that, everyone. Thanks especially to my YouTube channel members and my Patreon supporters who help keep my beer fridge full and help pay for things to show up in the mailbags and keep showing up in the mailbags. And of course, as a reward, they get to see all these videos 2 or 3 days earlier than the rest of you. So if that's worth anything to you, feel free to toss $1 or $2 in the tip jar. As I said, thanks for watching. I will talk to you later.